Rinlo is a third-person puzzle adventure game for VR with some light platforming and some light combat. It just came out of early access today, October 7th, 2020. Is it worth getting? Hi, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we are going to review Rinlo. It is available for the HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and the Valve Index. I can confirm it does work perfectly fine on Windows Mixed Reality. This game normally retails for $14.99. It's currently on a release sale, 15% off. I actually got this through Viveport Infinity. I want to estimate it took me about maybe 3.5 hours to complete this game. Unfortunately, Viveport Infinity doesn't keep track of your time played, so that's my best estimate as far as how long it took me to complete the game. I did enjoy my time overall with Rinlo, but I do have mixed feelings. The best part about this game is that it's just very beautiful. I almost feel like you're playing in a diorama. I don't know if you guys remember all those dioramas for VR that we had at one time, and it feels like you're actually playing a game within those dioramas. You do have almost like this omnipresent God view of your character. Now, the bad thing is that stuff does happen 360 around you, so I tried playing this seated, but I did find that I did have to move around at times, and I'm on a swivel chair, so I'm able to move around 360, but I did have to stand up for a few of the activities in this game, and the character can go anywhere. She can go behind you, around you, you'll have to look around to find the focal point of where the action is taking place. And really the best part of this game is just how beautiful it is at times. Now, it's not perfect visually. Probably my biggest gripe as far as visuals is the poor lighting overall, especially when you're in the interior parts of either houses or buildings. It's when you really notice how poor the lighting is overall for this game. On the other hand, I really appreciated the artwork here. Very beautiful town, very beautiful vistas. Overall, I liked all the different scenic environments and how it all kind of made sense and all fit together. It was a really nice part. The weak point of this experience for me personally was the puzzles. Just the puzzles weren't very satisfying. On the one hand, they were too easy overall. And on the other hand, they didn't really merge too well with the story of what's going on. In other words, there's puzzle experiences where the puzzles really fit well within the story, within the action, and help you become immersed in the story. But that wasn't really the case in this experience for me. The puzzles just weren't very satisfying, and they didn't really jive with what's going on within the story. And I've said this before in other reviews, but I'll go ahead and say it again. When you have a puzzle adventure type game, the puzzles really need to be thoughtful so that they enhance the story, not detract from it. Here, the puzzles, they were just out of left field almost. It didn't really make too much sense within the context of what was going on. And not only that, but the VR interactions for these puzzles were pretty poor, very basic. And like I mentioned before, the puzzles just weren't very good. There were also some light platforming sections and some light combat sections where you're actually making these special types of ordnance or bombs, distraction bombs, whatever you want to call them. Unfortunately, the VR controls weren't the best for that, so even moving from point A to point B was not very good for this game. Now, I played this on Windows Mixed Reality. That might have played a part in that. It uses a trackpad for locomotion, and it just wasn't precise like it should be for a game involving either any type of combat or any type of platforming. So there were certain sections of this game that should have been simple but were made more difficult just due to the poor controls, the poor precision. And you need good, smooth, precise controls in order to have a satisfying platformer or action game, which this game just lacks overall. Even aiming the bombs just felt more clunky than it should have been. Even something as simple as climbing a ledge didn't always work properly within this game due to the poor controls just overall. I did enjoy the story for this game, even though there wasn't much depth behind it. So it's a nice little story. The problem that I had with it, though, is that it kind of ended a little abruptly, whereas I was expecting it to really get interesting. It was really going to a very nice place, something unexpected, but then it kind of just ended, so I was a little let down by the story. But overall, I would say it's better than most VR games, and there's nice voice acting in this experience as well, which is much better than most VR experiences that don't have any voice acting. This is not the best voiceovers I've ever heard, but they don't distract from the experience, and overall I would say it's better than most VR experiences, so I'm not going to knock it down because it's not from like a AAA quality type level. It's still pretty good, and the story is written well enough. I just wish there had been a little bit more depth to it and a little bit more fleshing out towards the end, and it really would have made this a very special experience overall. This game is running on the Unreal Engine. I did not experience any major issues, and the good news here is that it was running perfectly fine on my 1060 GTX. I had no frame rate issues, no major bugs. There were a few minor issues, including some pausing issues, as well as some clipping. There was this robot, and you'll see this in the video, where the fence or the gate just kind of clips through him, but there were no major issues with this game. There's very generous checkpoints and some customization options in the settings. So overall, even though I do have mixed feelings about this, and if you're expecting something like Moss, I think you'll be severely disappointed from this game. But you really shouldn't expect that with a game that's only retails at $14.99. I do think the amount of content, even though it's shorter than I wanted, does align with the stated retail price of $15. So I do think you are getting a nice deal as long as you're okay with the negatives of this game. Again, the puzzles are not the best. The controls could have been a lot smoother, a lot more polished. And definitely, I think the thing that really would have brought this game over the top for me is just the VR interactions. They could have been more polished, more smooth, just more immersive than what they are here. So this game is a little rough around the edges overall, but I still think that the visuals are so beautiful, so nice, and there's a good enough little story here that I can recommend it. So I'm going to give Renlo a 6 out of 10, and I do think at the sale price it's on now, it does match what's here, the quality, the quantity, and the quality of the content you can expect for that price in VR. So I do recommend this, but it's definitely not for everyone. Anyways, I am Fast Lawyer. If you liked my review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Come in. Sit down. Well, you have grown a lot. What do you do for a living?
I work in a factory. They don't pay much, but after work they let me stay and develop my own inventions.
Ah, following my steps, huh? Were those green smoke bombs one of your inventions?
Yes. Dad, I need answers. Please.